the way the federal government is managed is it's not managed. And all we ever hear all the time is we need more money, we need more personnel, we need more buildings, we need more resources for this, 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 and this. If you don't give it to us, children are going to starve. Children are going to starve? We're $300 trillion in debt. If children are starving, it's certainly not because there's not enough money in the public till. Maybe it's the same incompetent government, the same incompetent bureaucrats who are bloating up the system, or who can't find 325,000 illegal immigrant unaccompanied minors. Maybe that's the problem. You know, the other day, there was an extraordinary cabinet meeting, and the president had Elon Musk speak really to the people through the press that was there, but also to the cabinet. And he had his full cabinet there, and I got to tell you, this is so positive, such a big deal. Number one, that he has the cabinet meeting there. Number one, that he has these people there. Number two, that he's going to back Elon Musk, no matter all the efforts to split him and Musk and so forth and so on. He's very comfortable in his skin. So he knows that he's the president, Elon Musk isn't. So all those efforts to try and work his ego doesn't fly. They tried that with me and him the other week, trying to come between us. It's not going to happen. Look, I give my opinions. Wherever they fall, they fall. He gets that. It's not a big deal. And they try this all the time. The media are very, well, they're scoundrels, to be perfectly honest with you. And I wish we had a free press. We have a press that hates Trump, that hates you and me, that hates traditional America, that promotes all the opposite. So it's not a free press. It's a propaganda operation. I wish we had a free press. The country would be so much far better off. So let's just take a little bit of this and see how this went with Elon Musk. Many of you may not have seen it, depending on what you do or where you were. Let's just take a little piece. Go.
I'd like to have Elon Musk please say a few words.
Well,
thank you, Elon.
Thank you, Mr. President. I actually just call myself a humble tech support here, because this is actually, as crazy as it sounds, that is almost a literal description of the work that the DOGE team is doing, is helping fix the government computer systems. Many of these systems are extremely old. They don't communicate. There are a lot of mistakes in the systems. The software doesn't work. So we are actually tech support. It's ironic, but it's true. The overall goal here with the DOGE team is to help address the enormous deficit. We simply cannot sustain, as a country, $2 trillion deficits. The interest rates, just the interest on the national debt, now exceeds the Defense Department spending. We spend a lot on the Defense Department, but we're spending like over $1 trillion on interest. If this continues, the country will become de facto bankrupt. Mm-hmm. It's not an optional thing, it is an essential thing. That's the reason I'm here.
Let's hold right there. How important is this, what he's saying? I mean, it's crucially important. And Washington doesn't want to hear it. And the press don't want to hear it. He's making it abundantly clear. Look, I wrote a whole book on this several years ago. Imagine what it is today, called Plunder and Deceit. We've done shows on it here on Blaze. We've done shows on it on my radio show and on the Fox show. I think it was about 4 or 5 weeks ago. But we've talked about it here over and over again. The numbers are just unimaginable. And this is just a small effort when you put it in the context of everything that's gone on to try and push back. They're trying to roll a boulder up a hill while there's an avalanche coming down. And so it's going to take some work. It's going to take some effort. And so every time they're doing this and trying this, it's, oh, you don't have a right, you don't have access to that information. Or, oh, look at this, they're cutting the heart out of this program. Or look at this, you don't have a right to withhold money. Or look at this, look at this. You got judges involved, you got the media involved, of course the Democrats involved, some Republicans are getting weak-kneed. I mean, are we going to save this republic or not? This is basic stuff. If you run a small business, I mean a really small business like a bodega, you know you're not going to survive. The numbers are upside down for the longest period of time. Well, they're upside down, and there's a point at which you can't dig out. Go.
And taking a lot of flack, and getting a lot of death threats, by the way. I'm going to like stack them up, you know. But if we don't do this, America will go bankrupt. That's why it has to be done. And I'm confident at this point, knock on wood, you know, knock on my wooden head, there's got a lot of wood up there, that we can actually find $1 trillion in savings. that would be roughly 15% of the $7 trillion budget. And obviously that can only be done with the support of everyone in this room. And I'd like to thank everyone for your support. Thank you very
Another
much.
hold here. He said a $7 trillion budget. When Biden came into office, the budget was around $4.5 trillion. They threw that $2 trillion on for that phony Inflation Reduction Green New Deal thing, where the money's still floating around. They can't push it out fast enough. They can't give it to enough people. You see 20 billion here, 50 billion here, these groups getting this, the senator's wife getting that, Stacey Abrams' group getting that. It's just, it is a grotesque attack on the public trough. And so it has real consequences. Go ahead.
This can only be done with your support. So it's really, DOGE is a support function for the president and for the agencies and departments to help achieve those savings and to effectively find 15% in reduction in fraud and waste. And we bring the receipts. So people say like, well, is this real? Just go to doge.gov. We line item by line item, we specify each item. So,
and by the way, what I find amazing here is given the nature of government, its corrosiveness, its rot, how slow it is. You have saboteurs at every level. You ask for things to get done, they don't get done. Look how quickly these guys have moved. They're going into every corner of the government. They're going into payroll systems. They're going into data systems. They're trying to, if the courts don't continue to block them here and there. They're trying to collect all this information at the same time. They're trying to see who actually works for us. What are their names? What are they actually doing? First of all, show up for work, for crying out loud, so we know who you are and what you're doing, and you're not, running two jobs at the same time. The way the federal government is managed is it's not managed. It's not managed. And all we ever hear all the time is we need more money, we need more personnel, we need more buildings, we need more resources for this, this, and this. If you don't give it to us, children are going to starve. Children are going to starve? We're $300 trillion in debt. If children are starving, it's certainly not because there's not enough money in the public till. Maybe it's the same incompetent government, the same incompetent bureaucrats who are bloating up the system, or who can't find 325,000 illegal immigrant unaccompanied minors. Maybe that's the problem. Go.
I should say we will make mistakes. We won't be perfect, but when we make a mistake, we'll fix it very quickly. So for example, with USAID, one of the things we accidentally canceled very briefly was Ebola, Ebola prevention. I think we all want Ebola prevention. So we restored the Ebola prevention immediately, and there was no interruption. But we do need to move quickly if we're to achieve a $1 trillion deficit reduction in financial year 2026. It requires saving $4 billion per day, every day, from now through the end of September. But we can do it, and we will do it. Thank you.
Just remarkable, despite all the obstacles. And he said he's getting a lot of death threats. And you'll notice the media could care less that he gets death threats. So what, right? Again, this is a guy on his own time who's doing it. He still has these multi-billion-dollar companies he has to run and so forth and so on. It's just, to me, this guy already deserves a ticker tape parade.
For all this and much more, sign up for Levin TV.